An interesting topic came up that I believe to be worth discussing. To set the scene, a false narrative was recently, sort of conjured up about myself, insisting that I never promote other people's work. My theory is that this only popped up and was floated around by someone because they wanted to boost themselves up while also knocking me. It was only to present themselves like they lift up others, and Eric, well, he's just selfish. It's an argument almost not worth addressing because of how easily debunkable it is with just surface level research. Let these goofballs live in the fantasy world that they're in because they need me to be a villain. But the actual idea of promotion and what is owed in general is worth discussing, and I think I have some solid advice and perspective. If you saw my post on this, I'll be reiterating some points. I think this can really be useful though for anybody trying to operate as an independent, whether they are selling comics or doing music or selling pancakes. For starters, you should never ask for, wait, or expect people to promote your work or put you on. Unless you're specifically paying for something like marketing, this shouldn't even be in the back of your mind. Don't even think about it. Waiting or expecting people to promote your work will only frustrate you and have you feeling resentment towards others. This will especially apply if you do end up getting that promotion and it doesn't end up translating to the sales you expect it to. Let the promotion by other people happen organically. It doesn't matter if you're big or small. Working and building relationships with people will put you on their radar. That'll get you genuine enthusiasm, and that's what you want. That makes for a much better promotional approach because that means they can truly sell it. They'll be more thorough and excited, and that's much better than someone that just pays lip service to the product. But your success is ultimately on you. You have to devise a plan and execute it. Success as an independent is not easy. Contrary to some people's beliefs, exposure only helps so much. Just because you got promoted doesn't mean you're going to get buyers. So your number one priority needs to be working on your craft and building your brand. You should be laser focused on that, trying to be the best version of you that you can be. When you do this, you'll start to build your own audience. But as far as the promotional aspect is concerned, if you work on yourself and your product, you'll be prepared when you are actually promoted. It reminds me a lot of the rap game when I was coming up in the 2000s. One person would break through in some sort of rap clique, and there will be this expectation by those around him that he must put his homies on too. And then when he does do something like put them on his track, people are turned off because the guy sucked or paled in comparison because the homie wasn't just that good. The homie got too lax thinking, he made it, and he got rejected by the audience. And sometimes this even creates envy and complete fallouts, unfortunately. So basically your focus should be in building your own audience, not prioritizing trying to grab people from others. Yes, there are some people that get lucky, they go viral or something, but for the vast majority of you, it'll be a process. Don't look at where people are and dismiss the work it took to get there. As an example, I was in the public sphere grinding independently for 17 years prior to the Rippaverse. Leveraging my audience from all of my ventures was how I not only had the hundreds of thousands of dollars to launch the company, but how I had 500,000 subscribers on YouTube. I'm not saying this to discourage you or toot my own horn. I'm just trying to tame your expectations. If you want to be where I am, you had better be prepared to put in just as much time and work as I did to get there. And that applies to any other successful person that you see. Because I didn't have the quick claim to fame. I built a following of loyal fans and customers. They rocked with me for me. And I delivered on everything that I promised. It's rapport. It's called trust. Trying to move audience to audience will only give you short-lived gains. You don't want that flaky support that's only because you're the end thing or someone else co-signed you at the time. What you want is true interest and loyalty from people that are really into you and your product. That's what's sustainable. One of the last points I want to make is that things can get a little cliquey, and that's a problem, especially when we talk about independence, alternatives, and this parallel economy. But you need to understand that those are not like monolithic sort of groups moving in this synchronization. It seems that people tend to forget who they're doing this for. It's not for your peers. You're selling to customers. And there's no better promotion than word of mouth by those that are stoked for your product. One of the big problems with the mainstream corporate entities is how it's so structured and copycat that everybody tries to do the same thing, even if that thing doesn't work. The beauty of being an independent alternative is you get to carve your own path and do what works for you. And often that's not going to be able to be replicated by someone else, not copying it exact. I think this sort of elitism approach is what has turned people off with the mainstream in the first place. And people will be foolish to carry that attitude over into the independents. Now, despite some people saying there's no obligation to others, if you have to qualify that with like a but, it's hard to believe that you don't feel that way. The culture of this obligation is a trap, because then people will start thinking that it's never enough, and frustrated folks will always think you should be promoting more or that you're not promoting the right people, invalidating the ones that you do. Nobody that truly respects you and loves you would ever expect you to promote them. Something is wrong if you have to look at helping people as this transaction like that. I'll use the Rippaverse as an example. It was the product of me having been in the public sphere, like I said before, since I was a teenager. I leveraged the audience I got from the hip hop scene to support my vocal covers. That audience was leveraged to support my metal bands. That audience was leveraged to support my commentary on politics and social views and comic books. And that audience was leveraged, and we got the Rippaverse. I had 500,000 subs before I even launched. Blaze and like Fox News, they didn't cover it, thus making it successful. They covered it because it was successful. And we had made over $1 million. I didn't ask them to cover it. They asked me if they could. And over the years, I've never asked anybody for promotion. When you see me appear on channels, big and small, I've never asked or expected to be there. To this day, if you see someone like my man's Gary from Nerdrotic rocking an ISOM shirt, I'm not asking him to do that. Guys like him and like Az, this was not planned. This whole, I did offer to change the shirt. Az like, it. Like, let's just, who cares? Let's just do it. They won't even allow me to give them free items. That's what I mean by organic. Grind and work hard on your product and promotion will come. But operate your business like it'll never get there. There are people out there that actually have built their brand on promoting other people's work, and that's awesome. They're not necessarily, let's say, creators. Some of them have websites and channels and magazines. Those are the people that are dedicated to promotion. But other creators must focus on creating. And the promotion of other people's product is secondary. That's not selfish. That's how businesses should operate. It's actually selfish for someone to think that they have an obligation to do something else. You're not owed anybody's support. And the more ambitious you are, the busier you are, and the busier you are, the less time you have to try to focus on other people's stuff. I don't even right now watch TV or consume much media for this very reason, but I do want to see my friends and good people be great. I absolutely love seeing them thrive. So when I get a chance, I'll do like an hour stream with someone like Kevin Grievous to talk about his project instead of just some cheap post that comes off as insincere. You get a better conversion rate when it's honest and genuine. The audience picks up on that. And those that I do talk about, I never take credit for their success, nor would I ask or require that they do the same. Obligated transactional shoutouts are cheap. The parallel economy is not socialistic. The culture around it is not some communistic sort of collectivistic thing. People sometimes take things the wrong way. I can guarantee you somebody's gonna walk away from this video and they're gonna claim that I've said I'll never help anybody. Bro, listen, I'm not saying that promotion doesn't help. Of course it does. And I'm especially not saying that I personally didn't benefit from it. I'm not saying that I didn't have it. I'm saying if you focus on being the best version of you, that stuff will happen without you ever needing to ask for it. And you should tame your expectations. Being exposed to an audience doesn't mean that they're just gonna throw money at you, because once that doesn't happen, you'll be left frustrated. As cliche as it sounds, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Expecting others to promote you shouldn't even be a part of your thought process. Don't ever think that your world can't move unless someone else has to move it for you. And I'll end on this note. If there's someone in your market that does something better than you, they're where you want to be, or simply they've done something that has proven to work, asking for promotion is the wrong way to approach that. If you need to ask anything, instead ask them how they got there. Ask them about their workflow. Pick up some game, and that'll be far more valuable to you in the long run than a simple retweet. Go be great and get to work. Alpha Core #1's pre-order is live. Written by the legendary Chuck Dixon and penciled by Joe Bennett. Visit Rippaverse.com to grab a copy and any of the merchandise items. Be sure to also check out the animated trailer for the campaign, which is the latest project from Rippaverse Studios. Y'all be easy.